numbers, um, yeah, might want to know these. So that way, if you come up on a problem, you won't be calling and texting me, and I have no idea on some of these things what to do. So that's why I thought I would go ahead and give you these numbers. Okay? So write them down. Hold on a second, I'll get rid of that gray box in a minute. Somebody keeps messing with it. I keep turning it to the computer. Yeah, let's clear that. Come on, move. Goldfish? Nothing. Now, if you have a problem with Blackboard, or if you have a problem with anything having to do with Tri-County Tech, you need to call that 646-1779. Anything having to deal with MyLabs Plus, you need to dial that 1-800-677-6337. They have several different 1-800 numbers. This is one that I used to use all the time. But be prepared. I hope you're not in a hurry or going into a meeting when you get on the phone with them, because it's going to be a while before you get somebody. And then when you do get somebody, they're going to be all chatty and wanting to know how are you and all this other stuff. And you don't really care all about that. It's worse than anything you ever. I mean, have you ever got on the phone with Direct or your cell phone people, and all they want to do is talk? They just want to talk. It's like, okay, my name is Brian, and I'm with, and we're glad to have you for. Shut up, huh? Well, I don't blame you. Good gracious. And then try to get off the phone with them, and then or they try to talk. Well, how things in South Carolina? Oh God. Yeah. All right. So we got those numbers and all that good stuff. Now this right here is where you need to go after you register. So let me go ahead and see so I can make fun of the people who aren't registered yet. Let me go there and do that. Of course, everybody's followed directions and everybody has done that. So I'm probably not going to make fun of anybody in here because I know y'all probably already done it, right? Exactly. I figured that much. Well, at least one person did it, right? I did it this morning in 120 class and told one student to come up here and sit down. And they did it and went through it. And one of the guys in the back of the room said, "Is that all?" Yeah. No, it takes 3 days. It took about 45 seconds. It took longer for her to type in the access code than it did for her to actually register. I mean, honestly, it took her like 15, 20 seconds to type in the access code because it's so long, but it only took her like 10 seconds leaving the access code out. It only took her like 2 or 3 buttons to mash, and it was over with real quick. So I think we got like 12 in here, so let's see, make fun of people who haven't done it yet. 12 dead grandmothers and 10 flat tires and house caught on fire and what other excuses are there? Cat feet on the keyboard. Hmm? Oh, okay. Okay, out of 12, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 winners. The rest of y'all are losers and live in a ditch. Okay? All right, who has their access code? Anybody? Anybody got it? Have you logged on yet? Okay, come on. You're going to be the guinea pig. So what I'll do is we'll bring the access code up here, and I'll pull up another, and I'll let you sit down. Have a chair. You get to sit with the teacher, and after this, you get to actually. Oh, you got to scratch. You scratch off a lot of your pictures. You get to teach class after this, okay?
You're not gonna learn.
You can teach them something, can you?
Yeah, not math. Not math.
All right. For those of you that don't know what this is the teachingcontinue.edu website. All right. All right. I want you to log on. Absolutely. And let's see. It says 101. It's 101 right now. Let's see how long this actually takes. And she needs to go to, I'm going to just take you to the learn, hit the learn. And then I think somewhere on there it says log on to Blackboard, right there. Log in with your same username and password. My gosh, we're heading up to probably about 30 seconds right now. Now click on the Math 155, that's your class. And now over on the left hand side, My Last Bridge, right there. And it should ask you, just X out of that. There. Hit accept. Do y'all listen to me at all? I said, the only time I asked y'all to go to Blackboard, whoever asked me, is to register on student list. After that, I don't use Blackboard. And she's typing in her access code. This takes about 15, 20 seconds. So far, we're at a minute 2, and then at 1:02, so this is taking a minute. So, you got to hit tab. Okay, she's messing this whole thing up. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Now notice it says access code, and then it says buy now, pay later. Access code means that you have the access code. You either bought it with your book, or you bought it with, this little card in the bookstore. That's what that means. So if you bought it in the bookstore, tell me your book, that's a no. Yeah. Okay, whatever. I'll do it on the next one. Oh my gosh! It's a minute 3. That's a minute and 30 seconds. Some of y'all it's going to take 5 or 6 weeks. You want to do yours next? Come on up. We're going to do yours and then we're going to move on. Do the free one. All you hit is buy later. And when you do that, you can get in. But y'all don't need to do that yet until we actually get into some homework. Let me log out. Let me just get out of this. I don't want first print tab. Let me get to SMS Telford. Okay. Type in your username and password right there. I gave you a hard time yesterday. You wasn't here. Did I tell you? I want to know who your Telford. Who's your dad? Oh, it's a married man. Okay, who's your husband? Okay, good. I didn't know if it was Stan or not. I thought it was somebody else. Thought it was an old football player from the high. Oh my gosh, you're actually doing this without. Oh no, I need to sit down. I'm about to faint. There. Oh my gosh. You're on there. You're done, aren't you? No, that's mine. That's mine. You're on mine. How did you get on mine? What did it say, Vicky? I'm sorry. Let me get out of this. Is that yours? That's yours. Okay, here you go. You were doing it right. I think it got kind of haywire. Oh. Okay, now try it again. Try it out again and see if it'll come on. But when you're not dealing with different people, you should be able to go home. You should be able to do it no problem. the code in your hand. Buy now means you want to buy it online. Why would you buy it online? Well, for one, it's about $10, $15 cheaper. And two, you may have already got a book, used book, old book, new book, whatever, and you just want to buy the access code. Pay later means that you want to start the 14-day free trial period. I would do this at the very last minute. What do you mean? If when I start doing math and I start telling you to do homework, that's when you need to start. I wouldn't hit that until you absolutely positively have to. So you put access code, and then you type it in, make sure it's all caps, make sure you hit tab after you hit each. Because we'll type the whole access code in one little area. Tab area. So you see that this actually takes, like I say, 2 or 3 hours, and the screen, hold on, you've got to hit cap. That's great. Okay, okay, tab. Make sure you hit, I think you actually want to hit cap lock. And it takes a degree in rocket science to actually do this. It's so difficult. Oh my gosh, 2 people in 5 minutes. It's a miracle. Thank you for volunteering with your bear boots. Grizzly bear boots. Alright, so you can see that really takes a lot of effort on y'all's account. So for the 3 or 4 losers that still haven't done it, just say, just go ahead and quit and drop. So you're not going to make it. I'm going to fail you because I don't like you. Alright, so now when I refresh this page, and I didn't catch your last name. Brown. Okay. You're not on there yet. Probably take a minute or 2, but I saw that you were on there, so you're good. I'm not going to make fun of you. Alright, so when you get on to, now once you go through Blackboard and register, once you do that, and the reason I say do that is because we have the powers to be that want to force all the students to go through Blackboard for some reason. So they have fixed just about everything that you have to go through Blackboard. And if you don't go through Blackboard, it's going to end up being a mess. So that's why I tell everybody to go ahead and go through Blackboard and get it done. And then once you go through Blackboard and it goes down 5 or 6 times, you can go to tctc.mylabsplus.com and you can just log on and just straight through. Okay? So if Ms. Telford, if she wanted to put a thing on her desktop, she would just pull up tctc.mylabsplus.com and pull up the login page, save it as on her desktop, and whenever she wanted to go to the login page, she just click on that, and that way it's not down every other day, and you don't have to rely on something else to get to MyLabs Plus. Okay? Now, what do you do when you get to MyLabs Plus? Well, when you get to MyLabs Plus, it's going to look like this. Okay, that's not my page. That's Miss Brown again. Okay, so we had come. This is nothing but a, you know what this is? Conspiracy. Now, y'all know whose fault it is. Bush's fault. Oh, we go. www. One of these guys going to die in the sea. I'm talking. I'm no sick. Well, we could bring some rock and rye. And you know, it's your parents' fault. You see, that's how fast it, and that's what you come up with. course, yours won't have full math courses there, and full math courses last semester. What it will have is it'll have whatever courses that you're using with Course Compass. And Course Compass is the actual name of this whole thing. You may be using accounting, you may be using science, you may be using math, so you may have 2 or 3 courses right here. You may just have one. But if you're wanting to work on math, you're not going to click on the English. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. Click on math, 1.155, and you should come up to this page right here. Now, there's only 4 icons that I want you to worry about. The first one is this one. Now, given that y'all are intelligent beings, what do you think that button is for? I will get an email from somebody in here next week, and they will say, I have looked all over Blackboard, and I cannot find your homework assignment. Will they get a reply from me? No, they will not. And they'll get mad at me. Why are they getting mad at me? They didn't listen. Anyway, this is the homework. If you want to do the homework, you click on the homework. If you want to do a test, you click on the test. What do you think gradebook is? Yeah, that's the rocket science. I will get somebody at the end of the semester in here. They will ask me, how do I know my grade in the class? I have no earthly idea. And that's what I'll say. Come on, people. What do you think gradebook is? Well, Hubert, I don't know if you do anything else. What have I told you? Everything I do in this class is where? On MyLabs Plus. So if gradebook is on MyLabs Plus, what do you think the grades are going to come from? MyLabs Plus. Where do you think they're going to go? In the gradebook on MyLabs Plus. ebook. That's your fourth one. So I'm going to go ahead and show you ebook because it's pretty simple. Let's say we start with 5.1. So 5.1, you go to 5.1 and you look at the handout that I sent you. Where's the handout that I sent you? So that was pull up the email. Let's go back to that because I don't want to have anybody miss any. I sent out the syllabi the other day. Let me just call it syllabi, please. After I announced it to y'all that I was going to do it, it works out better when I do that, so that's what I'm probably going to start doing. I'll wait for the first day of class and say, I'm going to send y'all the syllabi. And I sent it. Had a student this morning asked me, why do I need all these syllabi? I said, what do you mean? She brought me a stack this morning, like that big. She had printed out every one of the syllabi that I sent out. Why do I have a problem with that? Why would you, as a 155 student, need to pull up Calculus 2 syllabi? Okay? She came up to me with a stack. Which one of these are mine? I said, I have no idea. I hate to be a smart aleck, but y'all are adults. Not y'all in here, but students are adults. If you can't ascertain that you are in 155 and you need to click on the 155 and print that one out and leave the other ones alone, then yeah, there is a problem. Okay? I really think you need to think about that for a minute. All right, now the only page that I need to focus on is this one. I told you that the other day. So let's say that you are out the first day of class. I'm not talking about now, I'm talking about like Wednesday next week. And that's when I start 5.1. Well, Hubert, I thought you start with 1.2. No, what I tell y'all. I'm skipping over that. That's why if you miss a day in here, you better watch the video because you might end up doing more work than everybody else is doing. Okay? Ms. Telford, you're in the line 5. You're right here around this thing. You get everything. So I'm not talking to you. It's just you're the person that's on the left side. So I just look at you. I'm not staring at you. It's just you're the first person I see. All right. So 1.2 and 1.3, you need to delete that out of your. So you should all have that printout in front of you right now, and you should be taking a marker and marking those out. This is the most important page. I told y'all that the other day. It's right here. So that leaves these sections right here. Well, let's say that you don't want to buy a book. Then you go to ebook and you print out 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, 5.6, and you report 1. You're talking about this thick, maybe. If you have a printer that prints both sides, then you're talking about half that. And that's all you got to bring to class in your notebook. That's it. So that's why this page is so important. This page is also important. Why? If you miss a day, let's say I go over 5.1 Wednesday. Why do I keep saying Wednesday? Why don't I say Monday? Okay, I want to make sure somebody said that. 5.1, let's say I go over that Wednesday, and I go through it, and everybody feels good about themselves. Then what do you think I'm going to go over next Monday? Unless I say something different, you know what's coming next. That way you can read over it, you can print it out. If you miss 5.1, let's say you missed 5.1 Wednesday, and you went on vacation or something, and you're coming in on Monday. Don't be coming in here on Monday thinking we're doing 5.1. You need to be coming in here thinking what? We're doing 5.2 on Monday. So, again, you're adult. You should be able to ascertain which syllabi print out, and you should be able to understand how important this page is. Now, all that other bull crap that's before this page, you read it for your, I'm not going to say pleasure because this is real boring. It has objectives and outcomes and all this Columbia stuff. That's the only reason it's in there, for Columbia. You need this page. Okay? So, we're going to skip these two, and we're going to start with 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, 5.6, and 11.1. So, if you don't bring a book, you need to go and start printing those out and bring them to class. Say again? Yeah, I'm going to show you that. Oh, that's what I was fixing to do. I'm sorry. Chasing a rabbit. Sorry. So you go to eText, go to 5.1, and you hit eText. And right up here, and if those of you that have a book, you can go to 5.1, and you don't know what page it's on page 210. There's page 210 right there. And you see that. Now again, you're going to have to use a little bit of common sense here. You're going to have to look and see where you want to print to. This is the first page. So you skip over, and you say, okay, this is the second page, this is the third page, this is the fourth page, this is the fifth page, and you get to where it goes into the homework. Fifth page, sixth page, seventh page, eighth page. There. The eighth page, what does it start going into? The exercises. Well, you don't need the exercises unless you just want to print all of it, but we're going to print 8 pages. So you go up here to the handy dandy button that says print, right there, and it's going to ask you to print how many pages. And you say 8 pages. And hit print. And you've just printed those pages that you need for 5.1. Now, I'm not going to explain how to do 5.2 because you should know how to do that now. Now, you think I'm just picking on y'all? I'm not. I've had to do this for all my classes. Okay, because there is always one person that goes, well, what if I want to print the next page? And you put 9 instead of 8. Most of the sections in this book is less than 10 pages. If there is more than 10 pages, you'll see 11 or 12 pages, whatever it is. I think they go through and they count the pages and they actually put that in there after they count it. So I think everything should be okay with it. All right? So that's if you don't want to buy a book, and it could save you $50. Now, if you go online and just get the access code, it'll save you probably $60 or $70 because the access code online is usually $10 to $20 cheaper than the access code in the bookstore. And And the access code in the bookstore is gonna be, I think it's 120 or 130 bucks or 110 bucks, somewhere in there. And then the book with the access code is 160 bucks or 180 bucks. It's about $50 or $60 difference between those two. And then you save $60 there, $50 there, and then you save another 10 or $20 on the buying it online. You save about 50 to 70 bucks, somewhere in there. And you can pick up I probably have an old book in the bookstore. I mean, in the bookstore, in my office. First come, first served. If you want to see me after class, I see like I think I have one. I may have two. It's not a big deal because the only difference in my book and your book is my book may have a picture of George W. Bush. This book may have a picture of Obama. That's the difference. The pictures are different. That's it. Math does not change. It doesn't. Even though the way they're trying to teach it now is really ridiculous. But anyway, that's just my own opinion. I think you'll be all right if you use the old book and share a book. And what you bring to class is entirely up to you. Okay? Capiche? All right. So that's how you print it out. So that's how you pull up the dang old ebook. Well, let's say, what else is it? Well, we'll do tests last, but we're going to go to homework now. I'm not going to do grade book because we all have zeros in the grade book. So we're going to do homework. Now, first of all, whenever you're talking about the homework, I'm going to go to 5.1 because that's our first section. Oh yeah, this is another thing. If I had told y'all to skip 1.2 and 1.3, what does that mean that you need to do for homework? No, you're supposed to come to me the next day and say, well, what about 1.2 and 1.3 homework? That's what you're supposed to do. So I can sit there and look at you like, did I? If I don't give you, if I tell you that we're skipping something, you don't come to me and ask me the next morning or next day, well, what do we do about the homework? I have no idea what we're going to do about the homework. We're just going to skip the material, and I guess you'll have to get somebody else to teach you how to do the homework. Why would I skip the material and assign you the homework? The homework is there because all of it's there. I take out and put in what I want to. If I take out a section of instruction, what do you need to do to the homework? Ignore it. Skip it. Ignore it. Cross it out. Put white out on the monitor. Okay? That's a joke. All right? Ain't that a blonde joke? I think it is. I don't know who's going to know. Don't worry about it. No, I mean, if you're offended, I'm sorry. If I add 1.6, there is no 1.6. I don't think there is. Okay? If I add 1.6, then what do I need to do to the homework as a teacher? And then you may need to make a mental note that you need to do what? Okay, it's not rocket science. If I don't do it, you don't do it. If I do it, you look for it and do it. It's as simple as that. But people make it difficult. So I'm going to pull up the problem, and I'm going to show you, some of you have used this, some of you have never seen it before. So I have to cover all my bases. Here's the problem. Fill in the blank with appropriate word, phrase, or blah, blah, blah. I don't like that problem because that is problem number 1 test. Then I go to one that's the mathematical. Hold on a second. Yeah. All right. Determine whether the following statement is true or false. 2 is a multiple of 6. 2, 4, 6. Yes, it's true. But let's say you have no idea. Let's say, and there are math questions that y'all don't have a clue about, unless you just know it all. And in that case, if you don't know it all, you need to push this button. Now, these are different learning styles. These are learning styles that are not take place of the teacher, because there's no way possible for that. And what do you use it for? Well, have you ever been on homework and have you ever been on number 10 and couldn't get past number 10, therefore you only have 2 or 3 left? That's what it's for. It's to get you over the hump. This is not anything designed to take place of the instructor. I'm not leaning on this to take my place. I'm not lazy, all right? This is to get you over the hump when you're doing homework. Now, the different learning styles, because different people learn differently. Now, let's say that you've never had multiples before, and that would be this one right here. Help me solve this. Help me solve this is a guided tutorial. There's a learning style called guided tutorial, guided lecture. A guided tutorial or a guided lecture is when the teacher or the tutor goes through a series of explanations and questions for the student. If I ask you questions while I'm giving you the material, then that means it's guided. I'm not just saying, here, do it this way, do it this way, do it this way, do it this way. Right? You ever had a tutor or a teacher that say, okay, take this 2x, you take the -4 over to the other side, it becomes a +4, then divide by 2 on both sides, and you get x is equal to 2. All right, that is a non-guided lecture. That is a non-guided tutorial. To help me solve this is if you have never seen this material before. Most of you will not use this, especially in 155, because most of you have seen a lot of material you've just seen in different classes. All right? So most of you will not use this unless you've never seen it before. And it'll ask a question. It'll say, okay, 2 are natural numbers and they blah, 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 blah. And then it'll say, is there a natural number such as 2 in Q of 6? And it'll go through and say, ask questions. And you say no or yes or true or false or dang, I'm stupid. And you go through and it'll tell you if you're a loser. I'd love to be able to write these little things right here. Wouldn't that be fun to work it? I would get fired. I would get fired. I would say, you should quit and live in a ditch. You suck. You know, just make you feel like crap. All right? So anyway, I would get fired the first day. That's a guided lecture or a guided tutorial. And that would be used only if you've never seen the material before. But let's say that you've seen the material before and you don't want all that hoopla. Then you hit view an example. View an example is like show me. Just show me. And you go through and click, 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 click. And it doesn't ask you any questions. It just shows you how to do the problem. And you feel good about yourself. See? Question. Now, what if you don't like those? Well, there is textbook. Textbook will take you exactly to that part of the, hold on a minute. It'll take you to the exact page that this is being introduced. These are for you people that like to read. I don't like to read. I can't read. I read, I fall asleep. I'm not talking about 2 or 3 pages. I'm talking about paragraphs. And I'm like, I don't like to read. Yeah, I don't like to. So, some of you can read like War and Peace in 3 days. Some of y'all like to read books per week. Not this kind of way. I can't. I'd be falling asleep. So, for those people that like to read, if you want to just, read the section that the material is being introduced, you just click on textbook and it'll take you right to it. Okay? And you feel good about that. Well, let's say that you are out of options and you just have given up. You're quitting. You throw your pencil down against the book, it makes that loud popping noise. You throw the book up and you say, I quit. That's when you feel it. That's when you hit this button. Ask my instructor. Now, that's what I gauge the class on. How fast this class moves depends on how many of these I get every day. If you send me this problem and you say, I need to quit and live in a box, in a ditch. All right? Now, the reason I do this, the reason I write this is so you'll see how quick this thing will come to me and you won't see that I sent it like 10 minutes ago. All right? So I'm going to hit send. Now, everybody's doing their homework. It's 5 o'clock, and then the next day, y'all come to class. So it's been for 10, 12 hours since you sent that problem. I go over, about 10 minutes before class, I go over to my handy dandy Tri-County page. This is logged out because they log you out every 5 seconds because no teachers use this in their classroom. So I have to log in every 5 seconds. Sorry. And I hit my email, and I not only see your question, how do I know that's the question I sent? Because it says, I need to quit and live in a box in the ditch. So I just sent that. Sent it. Instant. And what do you think I'm going to do with that question? Delete it? No. I'm going to move it over toward my 155 file. And then guess what I'm going to do the first 15 or 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes of class? I'm going to go over those questions. Now, why do you think I don't have office hours? Because I have my office hours in the classroom. I'm one of the only teachers that does this. I think this has been around since I don't know when, and I'm the only one that puts it in a folder and then opens up the folder and then goes over questions in the middle of the beginning of the class. Why do I do that? Because that, to me, is what gauges the class. Let me give you an example. Let's say we go over 5.1, and I went over, let's say I went over, oh, better not say that. I better say it today. I better not say last week, because somebody, oh my God, I missed a section. No. Today, let's say I cover 5.1 today, all right? And I cover it, and it's done. And y'all go home and work on 5.1. And I go through and look at the grade book, my grade book. It shows all of you, just like it did a while ago, showing people that have logged in. It shows 6 or 7 people. It'll show all of you, and when I hit assignments, then it'll show me all your homework. I go through, and I see that everybody has done their homework except for Ms. Telford. Ms. Telford says that's what I ain't doing. Okay? I'm picking on you. And Ms. Telford doesn't do her homework, but everybody else did. And I see that because it says done, it's a check by everybody that has completed. Now, Ms. Telford might have done 6 out of 8. She's not finished yet. But as far as I'm concerned, she hadn't done it yet because I'm looking at the whole class. So the whole class is done. 90% of the class is finished with 5.1. Am I going to sit here and say there's no questions have been sent to me in 5.1? I look. When I come to class Monday, what am I going to do? Am I going to stay on 5.1 or am I going to move on to 5.2? I'm going to move on to 5.2. Now, Ms. Telford says, well, what about me? I still got 2 questions. She can send those and I will go over those. But the only thing I will not do is if I'm on 6.8, I can't go over Ms. Telford's 5.2. What does she need to do then? She needs to send them to me for office hours, and I will do it on the office hour projector, and I will post it, and I will send it out to everybody and say, here's 2 questions that were sent, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to put a name on it or anything. I'm just going to say were sent to me, and I'm sending them to you. And they'll be on YouTube. And that's how I do people that are behind. Okay? But we all know y'all are not going to get behind because y'all don't have 5 dead grandmothers and 6 flat tires and all that stuff, right? So all you're going to do is all your homework, and there's not going to be any problems whatsoever, right? Yeah. And that's how this works. Now, let me ask you a question. You see how this works. Why is this convenient for me and it's also convenient for you? Anybody want to answer that? Well, it's convenient for you because all you have to do is press how many buttons? Well, let's go back and do it again. Okay, shut up. You go and hit ask my instructor. That's 1 button. And then what? You hit 2 buttons. You don't have to write a message if you don't want to. If you knew how to do your job, Hubert, I wouldn't have to send you questions. You suck. You're the greatest. I don't care. I don't look at them most of the time unless it's something real definite there, like how do you do X or what do you do with X or something like that. You don't have to fill this out. You just hit send. 2 buttons, a maximum of what? 2 seconds. So it's very convenient for you. How about you holding up your hand and being embarrassed to ask a question in class? Does that still exist? No. This takes care of that holding your hand up and feeling like a dummy because you're asking about number one and everybody else is done with their homework. It's done. You don't have to worry about that. Why is it convenient for me? Well, I do. And I'll tell you why. Because this is what y'all do. Not y'all in here, but this is what students do. They come in. I don't have any former students in here, so you just have to go with my word. This is 2 or 3 weeks in the semester. I've done a couple of sections, and I'll get Miss Martin. She'll come in, and she'll say, I got a question. And I'll be like, okay, can you send it to me? No. Like that's some kind of, it's aggravating for them to hit those 2 buttons. And I'll say, well, Miss Martin, which one is it? Yeah, I think it's in 5.2 or 5.3. Okay, so what does that tell me I have to do? I have to go into her grade book, my grade book. I have to pull up Miss Martin, and then I need to look in 5.2 and 5.3, and then I need to look over and see if she's done all of them. She hasn't done all of them, so that takes out, nullifying the one that she has done, all of it, because, so then I say, well, you don't have to tell me what section. I can't remember. It had a 3 in it. That's what she said. It had a 3X in it, I remember. Then I'm going to have to go in and pull up 5.2, Miss Martin, 5.2, and look for a question with 3X in it. I don't see one. Then I'm going to have to go to 3. Okay, am I going to do all this? Let's see. Hell to the no, as Medea says. Okay, hell to the no. I'm not doing that because what am I doing? I'm wasting whose time? My time? My time don't count. Whose time am I wasting? I'm wasting your time because that time I can be what? Teaching. So it's efficient for me because I don't have to go through looking for Miss Martin or Miss Smith or Miss Jones or whatever. I don't have to go through looking for their stuff. I had a older lady. She came, and when she came into the room, everybody knew she was in the room because she had this wheel, what do you call it, bag? Wheel bag, yeah. She'd go down and make this, and paper sticking out of it, and she'd take the notebook out, and there'd be paper sticking out of the notebook, and then she'd take her book, her math book out, and guess what's sticking out of the math book? And she would not use those 2 buttons. She would not use them. And every day she came into class and she would say, I got 2 or 3 questions in homework. I say, would you send them to me? No. I said, well, you'll have to see me after class. She never did see me after class. She was a cluster. She was a walking cluster. She had stuff sticking out. I'm surprised she didn't have paper sticking out of her ears. She had paper sticking out of everything that she owned. I'm surprised she didn't pull out a cell phone and a paper sticking out of it. Have you ever seen those type people? Oh my God, drives me bananas. But anyway, don't be that person, because then I'm going to make fun of you next semester for another class. All right? Yeah, clusters. And they're both extreme and they're both very irritating. All right, so y'all got homework. The most important question, the most important button is Ask My Instructor. Now, there's one more thing you need to see, and that's this button right here, Print. It should, one class didn't do it this morning, the other class did, so I don't know what's going to happen now. It should come up with a little button that says, print this assignment or print all the assignments. There it is. Not many people use print this question only. Most use this. And that'll print out all 15 questions. And then you do it, and then you go back, and you print out. You can get out of it, save it, do whatever. Don't go back into it and start working on it, and then go back and don't do that. Okay? The thing I tell students to do, go in, print, and then go home, do your math, come back the next day or that night, and print the answer, and type the answers in. Well, Hubert, what if I got a question? Well, let me ask you a question. If you have a question that means you haven't finished the what? Problem, or you got it wrong. Either way, where are you going to be when you either don't see that you have a problem answered or you see that you get it wrong? Where are you going to be? Are you going to be on your paper or are you going to be in your homework? You're going to be in the homework. And what button is right there when you either have not typed in an answer or you typed in an answer and got it wrong? Where are you going to be? You're going to be right here. And you had asked my instructor if you can't figure it out. Questions so far? Y'all feel good about yourself? Don't have any males in here, so I can't make fun of smokestacks on the pickup truck. So let's see, what do I need to make fun of again? Oh yeah, maker. You ever seen Oompa Loompas? You ever seen them have a white face, or an orange face and a white neck? That's the ones that overcompensate with the women. The guys overcompensate with the smokestacks. Oh, I do. Yes, I do. Marine Corps teaches you that. All right, so let me show you the test. Now, I need to go through and put in a test. Hold on just a second. Let me do that so y'all can see it. Now, y'all will like this because I'm actually showing you the first test. Is it going to be exactly like your test? No. It'll be like it, but it's not going to be exactly like it. Let's see, import, and I got to update it because there's some dates in there I got to fix, but you'll get the gist. I want to show you some things. I hope this is. Here it is. Test. Save. Fix this. Settings for class before we pull it up now. Somebody tell me what's today. Here, this is our old class. 13th. Oh gosh, this thing's old. I don't want that one. I need this one. This one has the old stuff in it. Darn, I still think I'm not doing it. That one's too old. Hold on a second. Let me pull up another one. The only thing I hate about this is they don't put the year. They don't put the year, so I could be pulling up something from 3 years ago. No, this is 2015, so oh well. I'm gonna go with this one. Let's see. 8 o'clock. I have to shut this thing down. What time y'all get out for Katie to start? Oh, you signed the first unit test. I gotta go home and do all the homework. What time is it? What time y'all get out of here? I'll make it 2:09 so y'all won't even see it. Somebody will be going home trying to do all their homework. Y'all think I'm crazy. No, I'm not. There'll be somebody in here. Did you sign a test today? Alright, so now we pull it up, and when you go to your main menu and you hit quizzes and tests, look at that. It's blue. And it's got the dates out there, it's got when it's due, and you can click on it. And what are these? These are all generic tests that come with the book. You do them, the only reason you would do these tests is if you wanted to get extra problems, extra practice. Let's say you've never taken an online test, then you take some of these. They don't hurt your grade, and they don't help your grade as far as numerics. They will help your grade as far as doing problems, doing extra problems, getting extra practice in them. But the grades, all these, mine usually have my name on it. So that's how you know the difference. It'll say you have 23 minutes to complete this exam. Don't, it's in written in red. Why do you think that's written in red? You got an exclamation mark. Don't do it if you only got 23 minutes. Well, the deadline's in 23 minutes. Then what does that tell you about you? You're procrastinating and shouldn't wait till the last daggone minute. Okay? It'll ask you, are you ready to start? The reason it makes sure about this is for you to sit down and say, okay, have I had 2 glasses of Merlot, or have I had 2 shots of whiskey, or have I had 2 coffees, or 2 glasses of milk, or whatever. The kids are put into bed. The husband or wife, they ain't bothering us. The dog is put away. The cat's put away. So I am ready to take this test. That's what it means. Make sure you do drink 2 glasses of Merlot, though. It makes it go a whole lot easier. I love wine. Anyway, and there is the first problem. Scientific notation, that's a math problem, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm going to put an answer in here because it won't let me move forward. I'm just going to say 8. Next question. When is the last day of class for this semester? Now, this is a couple of semesters ago, so the dates are going to be, but look at the dates right quick. Which one do you think it is? How about A, Tuesday, November 24th? I had 2 people tell me they got offended with this question. Why would you be offended with this question? Yeah, Judgment Day is in the Terminator. Yeah, exactly. You were looking for something to be offended about. No, I'm just kidding. September the 11th, that is a day that will live in infamy. Just like, anybody got another date that will live in infamy? What is that? December 7th, 1941. I had a student, I'll tell you the rest of the story in just a minute. Next question. My math lab, in my lab plus, what does the grade book do? How about keeps up with my grades and my records and gives me a final grade after all the assignments or what? Now y'all laugh at me, but why do I do this? There's 3 reasons I do this. Can anybody tell me what do you think one of the 3 reasons are? Some people listen and some people don't. And I get tired of at the end of the semester, I get DA questions like this. That last week, I'll get somebody come up to me, not in this class, somebody come up to me and say, or they'll text me like right after the last day of the final exam, and they'll say, where did I get my grade? Did they get a reply from me? No, they do not. They didn't listen. A lot of people say, well, I don't know, you might have added some points in. I would have told you, wouldn't I have told you? And it would be done in the grade book. I'm going to put all your grades on here, and I'm going to make me another spreadsheet. That's just extra work. What is that? That's extra work. What have I told you I don't like to do? I don't like to do paperwork. I don't like to do extra work. Well, you might give us another test. Shut up. Okay, I would let you know. All right, next question. How about that? That's a concept I need to pass along to people. Maybe in one of my handouts. Does Hubert replace your lowest grade with the final exam? What's the only possible answer? Tuesday. No way, no how. You'll notice a pattern. That's a math question. You'll notice a pattern with my questions. You'll notice a pattern in here in just a minute. I think I can do this one. What do y'all think? What is Hubert's email address and cell number? Exactly. Actually, this is the second most missed bonus question. Yeah, give a date. This is the second most missed bonus question. I don't know why, but it is. I'll tell you the first one when I get there. There's 10 of these on each test. Find factorization 40, that'd be 2 times 70, which would be 2 times 2 times 35. 2 times 2 times 5 times 7. 2 times 2 times 5 times 7. The reason I'm doing a couple of these is because they're short, and I'm also, there's a reason I'll show you more. Next. I'm not doing that one. 666. I just do that to irritate people. You know what the 666 actually a lot of scholars represent in the Bible? Oh God, I said Bible. You know what it actually represents? King Nero. If you do the Arabic translation of 666, because the Arabic translation is like a lot of the Arabic translations, the Arabic words translate into numbers as well as letters. And if you take 666 and you reverse it, it turns into Nero, who was the king at that time when Paul was on the island. I'm sorry, I said Paul. Anyway, somebody's going to complain. What does this say? I'm not doing that. 4. Dang old Bible, dang old converting people. Okay, -7 plus 1, 42. -2 minus 8, -6. Next question. How about 777? Y'all feel better about the perfection number there? A person earns $22,000 in 1 year and gets a 5 salary raise. What is the new salary? They still live in the ditch. I don't know. They're still quit. I don't know. Let's say $777. -11. Now, one of the reasons I'm doing this is because let's say that you didn't even study for my first test at all. I'm going to show you what you could possibly make, and you don't even study anything. Farmer Hubert recently purchased neighbor's farm. 362, and total of, and let's see, after purchase he owned 507. Oh, that's percent. I'm going to say 777%. And I'm not going to answer that one. That will be 666. Oh, here we go. When is the week of finals? Well, let's look at this. I have to go to the bathroom December 1st through the 7th, quack, and December 7th, 1941. You're supposed to be offended. Why is somebody offended? You know, if first of all, it came up to me and said, Hubert, I'm offended that you used 2 bad days of American history on your question. I could stomach that a whole lot better than you coming up to me and say, well, I'm offended because you used September 11th, 2001. What about December? I said, what about December 7th, 1941? And they looked at me and they said, what about it? I said, so you're offended because 2001, whatever, 9/11. I said, but you're not offended because of the other one. Well, I don't know what the other one is. Case in point. And they just looked at me like I was crazy. Can you imagine somebody not knowing what December the 7th, 1941 is? What is our school teaching? Oh, I'm sorry. I know, they're teaching the math that you have to go around the world. I don't see how you can be offended about 9/11 and not know what that date right there is. Anyway, I'm going to say that. December 1st through the 7th. Why is that the answer? Because that's the only answer, contextually, the answer to this question. Okay, thank you. You know what that just said? I wish you'd hurry up and shut up. That's what that's doing. I ain't doing that one. That's too much work for my brain. Why does Hubert not entertain extra credit, extra points, dropping any grade during the last week's final exam? Because he wants me to fail and live in a ditch. Because he is mean. My head hurts. Or he awards me extra points for these type questions, and he drops the lowest 2 grades on each unit. I do like entertaining. I even bought a new coffee table. Here is the most missed bonus question. How is homework, tests, and exams weighed in Hubert's class? Actually, not exams, because you only take one exam. So it should be tests, plural. Which one is it? Why is it A? I know, but why is it 30, 30, 30? It doesn't add up to 100. People pick 30, 30, 30. I'm telling you, these people procreate too. If you take several, some of y'all going from look it up. If you take several forms of a test in Hubert's class, how is it counted? In your Unit 1 test, if you take the Unit 1 test, how do I count it? You take it 3 times. He calls you a loser and fails you. That's what I'd like to know. Yeah, probably. Let's say 3 and 60. Next question. Which branch did I serve in? Marines. If you get this wrong, please say Boy Scouts or Navy. Don't say the Army, okay? It's a Marine Army thing. You'll be all right. -9, -3 is -11. 17 minus 11 is what, 6? How many questions I got left? Good gracious, I made this a long test. I am not doing that one. I'm not doing that one either. It's on my information sheet. You didn't read it. That hurts my feelings. Now I'm gonna have to put smokestack on the truck. When does the homework terminate? When do you think? Mickey Mouse. How about before the test? Yeah. I don't do that. I should. Where is all of Hubert's homework and tests done? I like the kitchen myself. And that's going to be a big number. Remember, there's 3 reasons I do this. In My Labs Plus, upon completion of all assignments, the grade book will give me water lily, coconut, contempt, or my final grade. And so. Now, I did not do any math on this test except for stuff that we could do. And what did I make? I made a 50. You remember when I said, if you meet anybody that fails my class, stand away because you might get hit by laziness or stupidness? That's why, because there's no way you can fail my class. Even if you don't study, you can still make a 50 on the test. Okay? Now, there's 3 reasons I do this. 1, I know what time it is. What time y'all get out? 2:10, right? Okay, we got 2 minutes. 1 reason I do it is because if I give you 4 sets of these questions, I give you these questions on each test. Will you ask them the last week of tests? The last week of exams, are you going to ask those questions? I hope not. I hope not. Because I will look at you like you're crazy. Sorry. All right. 2, I do it to help you out. You knowing that you can make a 40 or 50 on this test is going to give you confidence each time you take it. And that confidence is going to come out on the mathematical portion. It's a little bit of psychology. And 3, I do it because about 3 or 4 years ago, we had a dean, and the dean said, I want to make sure these people are reading the handouts in the syllabus. And I started doing that. Because that way I didn't have to do it with Prius like other people do, and you have to go through and grade it. So I did this. So that's why I do it. I don't do it because I'm trying to make you laugh. I'm not doing it to make you feel stupid. I'm not doing it to make myself feel whatever. I'm not. I'm doing it because of those three reasons. So everybody in here should make a 40 or a 50 on the test. Will you? 3, 6, 8. I don't know how y'all do it. I guess y'all just go through and just not answer questions. Okay? Now, I sent you, and I'll show you this, and then I'll take the roll. The other day, after classes, I sent out the handout. Did I not? I sent out the syllabus. I showed you the syllabus. And I sent out my, let's see, I think this one is sent, the last 2020 classes. That's the one I didn't. Oh, handouts. And y'all have to tell me where it is. I'm looking for it. There it is. I sent it on the Monday at 12 at noon. And for those of you who don't know, that's the page right there. Some of y'all are like, I don't know what branch is in. Oh, there it is right there. And it says right, where is it? Somewhere in here. There it is. Dang old, right there. Dang old honorable discharge. Dang old got the job. Dang old honor. Okay? Now let's go back to the handy dandy. So, what did you find out about the test? 2 glasses of Merlot and easy questions, and y'all should be okay, right? Oh yeah, and study the math. Do the homework. You should be okay. Unless you like Muscati. If you like Muscati, then you like the sweet stuff, then knock it out. Y'all are 155, right? Okay, Miss Brown, you here, right? Bookhart? There you go. Bookhart. And here's the one in the front row. Burton? Burton. Burton. No Burton? Byers. Dawson. Got Dawson and another Dawson. You the second one. What about the first one? Asia? No Asia? Oops, I said, did I do the right one? Oh, no. Is that right? Eastridge? Okay, you moved on me, didn't you? You were over here the other day. Okay. Lowy? Is that correct? Lowy. Miss Martin is here. Shoemaker? Story? As in Toy? Okay. I do too, but I cannot watch the third one. After, I can't watch the third one. After the last 15 minutes, I can't watch it. And she goes into the room, and the little boy moves away, and there's me. Okay, everybody good? All right, who's got questions for me? All right, then all y'all need to do is get ready for math Wednesday, and I'll see y'all Wednesday. See y'all, and I will put up the video today so y'all can watch the video in case you missed it.